Founder of Power Your Research, an academic branding company where I help academics and educators increase their visibility, authority, and income without the expense of a publicist. And this video is not going to be as long as I'd like it to be because I have to jump on a call. But I did want to get this information out because I realize that a lot of my academic and educator friends are working on their books in the initial phases of their books. Maybe you already have a publisher, maybe you already have a publication date, or whatever the case may be. And if you've already published a book, you understand that the publisher's not going to help you market and promote the book, and they're certainly not going to help you promote yourself so that you can promote the book. So it's important that you know that going in, and then it's important that you have your own plan to help in your own marketing efforts. And there are so many cool things you can do to market and promote your book and make money off of your book, even though it is published with a publisher. And recently on my LinkedIn, I made a post about what I'd do if I was publishing my first or second book and I wanted more visibility. So I've published a book a year every year since 2013. I've published at least 30 things, probably more than that over that time frame. I've won numerous awards. My books have been featured in the New York Times, LA Times, Washington Post. My book has been a clue on Jeopardy. I've been in, even my self-published books have distribution and have been featured in places like Good Morning America. So I've been doing this a while with great success without the expense of a publicist or a marketing agency or any of those things. And so these are some tactics that I would use in this time period that we're living in with all of the access to these tools. Uh, I'm going to go through the post that I made on LinkedIn to explain a couple of these items. So if you don't want to sit through this video, you can just go through the post and look at the outline of the 5 things. But for those of you that wanted something a little more in depth, I have a couple of minutes to just give you context on each of these key pieces. And of course, these are just small pieces in the grand scheme of like a lot of things you can do to get traction for your book and make money from your book. So the first thing I said is, I would make sure I had a celebrity or influencer in my field that has a really, really big following to write the forward to my book. And actually, the second point is I would have a person of that stature write the afterword for my book. So what does this mean? This means this is something that you have to do before you publish the book. When it comes to marketing, you have to think about marketing when you're writing the book. From the way that you write the book, even if it's an academic book, your book can still cross over. If you look at my work, my books have crossed over to regular everyday people in pop culture. So one of the things you can do is start looking up who are the celebrities and influencers that are talking about the thing that your book is about. So I don't know if you're a professor that does research on climate change. Well, who's a celebrity, an actress, an anchor for a show, somebody that people would recognize, preferably not another PhD, not another academic. But if it is an academic, you want somebody who's a superstar. For example, Dr. Henry Louis Gates wrote the foreword for one of my academic books. He's professor, but he's a superstar. So you want to get someone like that to write the forward and afterward. I like to do both. If this was my first or second book, I would do both. I don't really have people write the forwards and afterwards to my book anymore just because I've done this. I have the following I need, and, I have the visibility. I have that going already. But if I was just starting out, this is critical because you'll have that name stamped on the front of your book. You'll have that person, 2 people, preferably the forward and the afterward. They will have written for your book, and then they'll help you promote the book because their name is attached to it. So that's just going to give you credibility and visibility in and of itself. Now, how you make those connections and do that is right. That's something for a coaching call that we could talk through. But That's number one. Number two was the afterword. Number three, I said I would take the topics in the book and I would go on a podcast tour. So this is super easy for you to do. Go on a podcast tour leading up to your book, but certainly have these lined up for when the book is going to publish. And you only want to do podcasts that are going to record your talk. So it should be in person with very good audio and video, or it should just be, a host that uses StreamYard or one of those other platforms that are going to give you nice quality video for your podcast. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go get a freelance editor to chop up those interviews for like $80 and give you 30-minute, 30-second, 45-minute, and 1-minute clips. So, like in an hour podcast, you could have like 20 clips, and then you're going to post them all over the internet, right? With the order, with the pre-link, with the order, the pre-order link to your book, or if the book is already out, the link to your book, right? Add your captions. This is going to be easy, constant social media content. This is going to be good for places like Instagram, particularly where reels are really important, but you're going to sprinkle them all over the internet. And if you do this podcast, or even if you just do 3 podcasts, you'll have like 80 pieces of content. So for those of you that are like, I don't know what to post on social media, I just gave you a gem. So I got to jump off. I can't get to number 4 or 5 on this list, but if you want me to record a follow-up video, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to circle back and answer. I hope this helps. If you do this, you'll see success, you'll get visibility. We can talk more about monetizing your book and that kind of thing. But again, my name is Dr. Sheena Howard. I hope this helps, and I hope you have an amazing